I really think that this is her way of undercutting his bid for the presidency, because then she doesn't have to deal with him.
But it would have hurt him more if she had just said, we all know he lost the election.
Melania Trump has been the target of The View's sharp tongues for years, but this time, things have exploded into pure chaos. Rumors are flying that she's hitting back with a $1 billion lawsuit, accusing the show of defamation and crossing the line with personal attacks about her marriage. Sunny Hostin, never one to hold back, is right at the center of it all, doubling down on claims that Melania despises Donald Trump. The internet is on fire, social media is in meltdown mode, and both sides are digging in. But is this lawsuit even real? Or is it just another wild internet storm spiraling out of control?
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given. I also think that she wants to take him out. She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
For years, The View has made Melania Trump one of its favorite topics of discussion, and not in a flattering way. The co-hosts have taken plenty of shots at her, covering everything from her personal life to her time as First Lady. Whether it was her fashion choices, her Christmas decorations, or her relationship with Donald Trump, the show rarely missed an opportunity to throw in a sarcastic remark or a snide comment.
She destroyed the Rose Garden. Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want to have anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him.
One of the earliest criticisms came when Melania decided to redesign the White House Rose Garden. What should have been a simple aesthetic choice turned into a heated debate on The View. The hosts went on about how she ruined a historic part of the White House, with Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin leading the charge. They mocked the changes, acting as if she had destroyed a national treasure rather than given it a modern update. Many viewers saw it as just another example of how the show relentlessly criticizes anything connected to the Trumps. Then came the Christmas decorations. Every year, First Ladies put their own touch on the White House holiday decor, but when Melania did it, The View turned it into a punchline. The most memorable moment was when her white-themed Christmas trees in 2018 were compared to something out of a horror movie. The co-hosts made jokes about it looking like a Nightmare Before Christmas scene and suggested the decorations reflected Melania's supposedly cold personality. It wasn't just lighthearted teasing, it became a running joke that she hated Christmas altogether, even though there was no real evidence to support that claim.
She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want to have anything to do with him.
Him.
She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
Allegedly.
And she does.
Yeah, how do you know all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know all this.
Allegedly.
The most intense criticism, however, has been about Melania's marriage. Over the years, The View has repeatedly pushed the idea that she is miserable with Donald Trump and only staying with him for appearances. They've speculated about whether she would leave him if he lost political power, suggested she barely tolerates him, and laughed about videos where she appeared distant in public. Sunny Hostin, in particular, has been very vocal about this, recently stating on air that she believes Melania hates her husband and regrets ever becoming First Lady. It wasn't presented as a question or an opinion, it came off as a certainty, as if Sunny had inside knowledge of Melania's private thoughts.
I feel strongly that as adults, we can and should be best at educating our children about the importance of a healthy and balanced life. So today, I'm very excited to announce Be Best, an awareness campaign dedicated to the most valuable and fragile among us, our children.
While some viewers enjoy The View's unfiltered commentary, others see it as an example of unfair media treatment. Unlike other First Ladies, who were generally given the benefit of the doubt, Melania was often painted as cold, uninterested, or even complicit in her husband's controversies. The show's discussions rarely focused on her initiatives, like the Be Best campaign, and instead chose to mock her accent, her past as a model, or even her decision to remain private. To Melania's supporters, it was clear bias.
American people need to decide what they really want. Maybe some, strong tweets, but everything else great for this country.
For the past few days, the internet has been buzzing with claims that Melania Trump is suing The View for a jaw-dropping amount. Some say $100 million. Others claim it's as high as $1 billion. According to these reports, the lawsuit is centered on defamation and character assassination, specifically targeting comments made by The View co-hosts about her personal life and marriage. Supposedly, the lawsuit argues that the talk show falsely portrayed Melania as being unhappy in her marriage, desperate to distance herself from Donald Trump, and even at odds with him on major political issues.
Allegedly, he was cheating while Melania was pregnant.
That was all.
That's not going to come in front of the jury, though. The judge has ruled that won't come up.
We're on television now.
At first glance, the lawsuit seems like something Melania might consider. She's been criticized on the show for years, with Sunny Hostin being particularly vocal about her opinions on the former First Lady. Given how The View has often mocked and speculated about her private life, it wouldn't be shocking if she had finally decided to take legal action. The idea of a high-profile courtroom battle between Melania and one of the most watched talk shows on TV is the kind of headline that instantly grabs attention. But is any of it true? According to fact-checkers, not at all.
That never happened.
Never happened. That's why I sent them the letter, because it discredited the story.
Right, your lawyer has sent a letter to People magazine saying they have to retract.
Yes, because it was not true. So how we could believe her?
Snopes and PolitiFact, two of the most reliable fact-checking sources, have investigated these claims and found no evidence of any lawsuit. There's no legal filing, no official statement from Melania's team, and no credible news outlet has confirmed it. Snopes outright labeled it false, while PolitiFact called it misinformation. It turns out that the entire story appears to have originated from social media posts and gossip sites, which took off like wildfire. Despite the lack of proof, people ran with it. Social media was filled with heated debates, with some people celebrating the idea of The View being held accountable, while others dismissed the lawsuit as a desperate move by Melania. Some even suggested that it was a calculated political stunt ahead of Donald Trump's potential return to the White House. The more the story spread, the harder it became for people to tell fact from fiction. Talk shows like The View thrive on open discussion, heated debates, and bold opinions. That's what makes them entertaining. But where is the line between having an opinion and making claims that could be considered defamatory? That's the big question in situations like this. If Melania Trump did file a lawsuit, or if she ever decided to, it could bring up an important debate about the responsibilities of media personalities and whether talk shows should be held to stricter standards. One of the biggest defenses The View and other similar shows rely on is free speech. In the United States, the First Amendment protects people's right to express their opinions, even if those opinions are harsh or controversial. This is why shows like The View can make strong statements about politicians, celebrities, and public figures without immediately facing legal consequences. But free speech doesn't give a person or a network unlimited protection. There's a legal difference between expressing an opinion and making a false statement that damages someone's reputation. If a statement is presented as fact and it turns out to be false, it could fall under defamation, which is something courts take very seriously. This is where things could get tricky. If a lawsuit like this were real, it might push networks and talk show hosts to be more cautious about what they say. Would they have to double-check their claims before making bold statements on air? Would talk shows start fact-checking themselves more carefully to avoid being sued? These questions go beyond just Melania Trump. They affect the entire media landscape. At the same time, critics argue that making talk shows more cautious could have a chilling effect on free speech. If every public figure started suing over negative comments, would the media still feel free to challenge those in power? Would tough conversations about politicians and their actions disappear out of fear of legal trouble? Some believe that defamation lawsuits could be used as a tool to silence criticism, which could set a dangerous precedent. People are split on this issue, and it's not surprising. Anytime something involves Melania Trump, The View, and a potential lawsuit, you're bound to see strong opinions on both sides. Some are cheering at the idea that Melania is finally pushing back against what they see as blatant media bias. Others think this is just another example of how public figures, especially politicians and their families, need to have thick skin and accept that criticism comes with the territory. For those who support Melania, this rumored lawsuit feels like a long overdue response. They believe that The View has spent years making her the punchline of their jokes and attacking her character without any real reason. To them, this isn't just about Melania. It's about holding mainstream media accountable for how they portray certain public figures, especially conservative ones. Some see this as a moment where someone in the Trump circle is saying, enough is enough. If this lawsuit were real, they'd argue that it could send a message to media outlets that there are consequences for crossing the line between opinion and harmful falsehoods. So, what are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below.